and welcome to White Eagles TV. I'm your host as always, Mitch. Thanks for tuning in, where I discuss all the weird and wonderful stories that concern the Serbian national football team. As you can see, I'm wearing the Puma kit, the Nikola Tesla inspired kit along with the white one, and obviously my Savez football Serbia hat. As you can see, I'm gunned up with all Serbian stuff here. So this episode, what I want to do is talk about the upcoming election that is being held on the 14th of March for the presidency of the Savez. As we all know, Nemanja Vidic is up against Dragan Dzajic, and we all know how this is going to go. We all know how this is going to play out. It will probably be a Dzajic win. But I guess we'll find out in a week's time. It's in a week from now. So both men recently sat down for interviews on national TV on RTS, where they discuss what they want to do with the presidency and their plan for the future of Serbian football. I'll start with Dragan Dzajic. I just wrote down some notes here about what he discussed in his interview, which for him, there's a lot of the start of the interview was talking about his career with Zvezda and some of the connections he's made and so on, and players he's brought in, and then he didn't really talk too much about the Savez, what he was going to do with it. I mean, first of all, he mentioned I just read here that he mentioned that Serbia is very talented in sport. Okay. This is fair enough. He said that he wants the smaller clubs to do well in Europe, and not just Partizan and Zvezda. He just wants the smaller clubs to have better facilities and so on to make an impact in Europe. Fine, I agree with him. The interviewer said that there's 3 new stadiums being built, which will be completed this year, and 5 stadiums will be completed by this time, or by the end of next year, which includes the national stadium. So that'll be 8 stadiums in total. I did do a video on all the new stadiums being built. Have a look at my on my YouTube account for that. What else? He mentioned that no other nation in the world is building as many infrastructure stadiums, sporting stadiums, than the Serbian government at the moment. I don't know if that's true or not. I do know Serbia is making a lot of stadiums, which is great. But if you look at some of the stadiums currently now, some of our biggest teams, it is third world standard stadiums. The infrastructure is terrible. So it's not something I'd really brag about. This should have been being built decades ago. They're being built now. But if you have a look at some of the stadiums around Belgrade, Ofka Belgrade, just look at their stadium. It's terrible. So it's not something really he should be taking credit for. That's more of a government position, not so much the Savez. He said that while he's a Zvezda man, he's as Zvezda as it comes, he won't allow that to affect his decision-making skills. We all know that's bullshit. We all know only 2 clubs in Serbia matter. You can say that about a lot of leagues in Europe, but we all know in Serbia it's Zvezda, Partizan, and Zvezda clearly ahead of Partizan. So if there is a decision that's going to be either Zvezda or say a smaller team like Bečka Topola, it's going to be in Zvezda's favour, guarantee. You mentioned that Pixi Dragan Stojkovic has a contract to continue with the Serb team, and that will not change under his leadership, which is great. He expects to make the Euros, which I guess we all do. He did state that he expected to do better at Qatar. I think we all did as well. He said that, and this made me laugh. He said, when the commentator said, "Who's going to win next week?" He goes, "Well, I don't know. It's a democratic process. We'll find out next week." We all know it's not a democratic process. When your vice president in your candidacy was a member of Vucic's government, he's not a member anymore, but where he was. That's not going to be a democratic election. We know it's going to be a farce. He will win. Dragan Dzajic will win. Vidic has no chance. And he had some nice things to say about Vidic, which was great, even though they're coming up against each other. He did say that he brought him into Zvezda when he was 15 years old. Vidic confirmed this. And he said only good things about Vidic, saying he's one of the best excuse me, one of the best defenders of all time. Definitely for Serbia, guaranteed for Serbia, probably the best defender we've ever had. And in world football, he was definitely one of the best in the world. You can safely say that. And that was pretty much it for. That wasn't really with Dzajic. That he didn't really sort of talk about his team. Like Bane Ivanovic is in his team. He didn't really mention what Bane's role would be. Didn't mention any of his other cronies that it's going to be part of his leadership group. And that was it. It kind of just ended there for him. It didn't really go into depth. Okay, building new stadiums, infrastructure. Anyone can see that. I went to the Maracana once, and it was the most rundown stadium I've ever seen in my life. Obviously, here in Australia, where we're blessed with brand new stadiums, it's a rich country, no doubt, so they can build whatever stadiums they want to suit their needs. Serbia can't do that, but even then, the stadiums are run down. And that's Maracana. Partizan I saw from a distance just outside. That was terrible. So it's a no-brainer for him to say that. It's a no-brainer to say Pixie to remain as coach. I mean, the fans, we want him to continue. So where's the what you're not breaking any news there that he's going to remain. He better remain. For your sake, he better remain. And that was pretty much it. Man, he talked about players. He like Pazen and. One of the worst managers we've ever had for Serbia, the Pigeon, and he didn't really sort of go in depth as to exactly what he was going to do for the clubs. But I'll talk about now what Nemanja Vidic said during his interview, which seemed like a proper interview. It was live, while Dzajic one was seen to be filmed a couple of days earlier. It can be edited, manipulated. And that's what I feel what happened here. Vidic just went out on national TV and said, go ask me anything you want, and I thought it was really impressive. So I'll just write a few things here. Vidic said that he lived abroad for 18 years. His children were born in England. He said that he learned the hard way in the time when coaches in Serbia was very easy to win. Obviously in Zvezda you win always. He said that he learnt a lot from Alex Ferguson and people around him, and that the main thing he wants to bring to the Savez and Serbian football is professionalism. And then I just wrote that he said that I believe that FS Football Savez Serbia should professionalise, be transparent, educate future football players, officials, deal with clubs from the interior. Amateur football, it is true that there are not only people from football, but also from business, the banking system. Darius Branko Milutinovic from Nodes. I met him at UEFA Master under the University of Limoges. He created his company. He just talked about his. He said that his strategy will be determined by Muslim. I remember our former coach in 2017. He was sacked even after taking us to the World Cup. That's the Savez right there, and you all know how bombed. So he goes, I know in which direction we want to go. I need people with whom I will work. I will go to that goal. They are professionals, responsible people, patriots who want to help the Savez for free. I'm extremely glad that they're a part of my team, and which is fantastic. So Vidic also talked about national team in Qatar. It was successful that we went to the World Cup and that we were the first ahead of Portugal. As always, we had expectations. We were ahead. I talked many times about problems coming in and they came true, but I don't want to talk about the problems, but to be part of the solutions, which I don't offer alone, but with my team, which is fantastic. Fantastic, he said that. I believe that Dragan Stojkovic is aware of the shortcomings. He has been in the coaching business for many years. I have no doubt that he has analysed the problems and that he will improve what we're good at, and where there are problems that we will be better. He also talked about Bajcetic and Samizic, the talents that the Savez are fighting for to play for Serbia. He said, I would deal less with the names and more with the systematic things. We had examples in the past of players choosing who they would play for Austria, Spain. We have to be prepared that this will happen in the future. With Bajcetic, I don't think he'll play for Serbia. I think he'll play for Spain. But we do have Samizic in the team, which is great. We have to have scouting, a team of people who take care of these young guys, and to include them at all earliest possible age to play for the national team. I would like Beji to play for our country, and I will try my best if I'm selected to help. We have to work on creating an organisation that will be credible and which the players and fans will trust. The football side of Serbia must be a service to the clubs, regions, and set standards and direction in which we want to go. When the players feel like this, we will not have a problem with them deciding to play for Serbia. So obviously, you're growing up in Europe, you have the chance to play for Germany or Serbia, and say you're an old horse like me who's seen problems with Serbia go to the World Cup and crash and burn, sacking managers and sacking captains. And then you sit there and say, well, why would I play for Serbia? Why would I waste my career playing for a team that has all these problems, that puts agendas ahead of a good man, a good coach taking Serbia to the 2018 World Cup, just so Sergej Milinković-Savić can play? Why would you choose to play for Serbia if you could play for Spain when you have those problems with Serbia? I mean, that's a no-brainer for me. And what else? What else did he say? He also mentioned difference between Serbian football and where he left when he left and now. He said young players were given a chance. Age of 19, I was a captain of Zvezda. Young players leave us and we lose them. We don't know how to develop abroad. This is a big problem for Serbian football, and us as an organisation, regardless of whether I am president or Dzajic, we have to deal with that topic. The state invests a lot of money in stadiums, but someone has to play in those stadiums. The professional has to get involved. That's fantastic. At this place, he has also announced the return of one of the best Serbian judges. Milorad Mazic can restore trust in the refereeing organisation, and I'm extremely glad that he accepted to be part of my team. Also part of his team is Danko Lazovic. Remember, he was a good striker for Serbia. And Lane Jovanovic decided to study after their careers. Danko in Limes and Lane in Novi Sad. He spoke about his relationship with Crvena Zvezda. I was abroad for a long time, and we cannot escape the fact that I probably spent the best part of my career at United. I'm emotionally attached to Zvezda, to Serbia. I am here to help. I will be a solution or a problem when it comes to Zvezda. I've been abroad for 18 years. I have become a person who supports Serbia, not Zvezda. After arriving in Serbia 2 years ago, I noticed that we have divided into Serbs from Crna Gora, Bosnia, Kosovo, Serbia, star players. I think football can unite. That we should not cheer for Vidic, Stojkovic, Tadic, Mitrovic in the stadiums, but for Serbia. This is what I like to achieve in my candidacy as a president. He also spoke about Dzajic. He goes, when I came to Zvezda at 15, he was a president, and we had a great relationship. Our relationship will not change. Whoever wins on the 14th of March, which is that's nice of him to say. His team also includes a director of a well-known bank. I don't know about this. Seems kind of shady. There is also Petar Jovanovic, director of RBA Bank, one of the largest banks in Serbia. He has been in the banking system, executive boards, and insurance companies for a long time. He can help deal with the financial sector, just like and help develop Serbian football. I don't know about that. Trying to wrangle the money off the money men. Good luck. But listen to what Vidic said during his interview. He seemed very genuine that he wanted to help Serbian football. You can tell he, I guess, has come back to Serbia for that chance to make Serbian football better. We all know that there's a problem in Serbian football. We see it every time we go to a World Cup. We crash and burn, sacking Muslin, as I spoke about, for a player to play. Then you sack Babane Ivanovic. So obviously Vidic has seen that. If I can see that here in Australia, where receiving news about the interest, the details, what's happening in Serbian football is not very easy. If I can see that here, then Nemanja Vidic can see that there. I know Muslin probably has an axe to grind. That's probably why he jumped on the Vidic ship, because he wants to go in there and absolutely smash the people that smashed his opportunity to take Serbia to the World Cup and give it a shot, give it a good hit out, which the man deserved. If you have a look at one of my other videos, I talked about that. One of my, I think it's my second or third videos. Check it out. So I think he has an axe to grind to against these guys in the Sabres right now. But I'm hoping on the 14th of March, I'm hoping Vidic wins, because I liked what he said. Where will he win? I don't believe he will win. I believe the guys that control Serbian football have picked their man, Dzajic. I mean, listen to that interview with Dzajic. He's a 78-year-old man, and he sounded 78. I mean, the guy shouldn't be running for presidency in a position where he's got this much stress and so on. He should be fishing with his, his grandkids. If he has grandkids, I'm assuming he has grandkids. He should be, going for morning walks and having coffee and a cigarette and maybe catch the game or two on TV. But to run an organization like this, I believe you need to be young, fit, in body and mind. And Dzajic, listened to that interview, he just seemed like an old man. I don't want to, I feel bad saying it, but he just seems like an old man. I mean, he's 78, he turned 78 soon. What ideas does he have? Let the man retire. Obviously, he's been told to run because that's probably their best shot at defeating Vidic. But this is, it's very sad that they brought this man out to do something like this. So we'll know in a week from now who runs the ship, and well, I'll probably do another video leading up to that candidacy or the presidency, or maybe just a result where obviously Dzajic will probably win. But thanks for tuning in. Welcome to all my new followers on Instagram and on White Eagles TV on YouTube. It means a lot that people are hitting the subscribe button and hitting the follow button. Trying to build something here for us fans, somewhere where we can turn to and just listen to someone talk Serbian football. If you agree with me, great. If you don't agree with me, great as well. Leave me a comment and let me know what you think. But subscribe to my channel, like my videos or dislike my videos, and tell me why in the comment why you didn't like it. I'm happy to listen to criticism. I'm happy to take suggestions on what sort of videos you guys want. But Serbia's qualifiers in 2.5 weeks. The Serbian squads will probably be released next couple hours, next couple days, and I'll do another video when that happens. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.